make Disneyland churros. I don't know about you, but I've been missing them since quarantine and might as well make them while you're home, right? Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so first things first is we're gonna combine our beginning ingredients to start out with our dough. So you're gonna wanna start with 1 cup of water, 1 stick of butter, or 8 tablespoons, but same measurements. Make sure you get all the paper off. Your butter, your salt, so 1/4 of a teaspoon. So just 1/4 of your salt and 1/4 of your cinnamon, but you're gonna need a lot more for the ending recipe, so make sure you have more prepared on the side. Okay. Now that you have all your ingredients in your pot, you're gonna turn your heat to medium and combine all those ingredients until melted down and starting the beginning portion of your dough. So I got all of them melted down and combined. Now I'm just gonna wait for this to come to a boil, and once it hits a boil, we're gonna put it on low heat and let it sit before we add in the next ingredient. Okay, so now that our concoction, whatever you wanna call it, is boiling, we're gonna bring it down to a low heat and let it sit for a few seconds before we add in flour. Just make sure it's all combined thoroughly and that it kind of has like a brown color. So now that we've let it sit for a minute, we're gonna add in our flour. I'm gonna turn down the heat even a little bit more. So your recipe calls for 1 1/4 cup of flour. So 1 cup. And 1 1/4 cup. Okay. Now you're gonna mix it until it forms a ball of dough. And you're gonna keep it on this low heat and you're gonna stir it very slowly. Make sure it's all combined. Okay, so I already took it off the heat because it made the ball mixture faster than I expected, but I also don't want it to burn. So it should something look like that, just kind of like I would say like a looser dough than like your normal cookie dough or something like that. But once you get it to this about form, you're just gonna let it sit for about 5 to 7 minutes before we add in our eggs. Hey y'all, so it's been about 5 or 7 minutes. It's pretty cool, it's still a little warm to the touch, but it's kind of what you want. So now we're gonna add in our eggs. Pro tip, have a little cup ready to go and throw away right away, because the second you put this egg into this mixture, you're gonna wanna start stirring and you don't wanna give yourself a reason to stop. So just have something here ready to go, put your egg in right away. You're gonna do 3 eggs, 1 at a time, to make sure that none of the eggs cook. So you don't want a scrambled egg churro. So 1 egg in and stir. You just wanna make sure that you mix it thoroughly enough that you no longer see the egg and it's completely combined with the rest of the dough. Egg number 2. And last egg. Okay, so once you get it to about this consistency of where it's one big form of dough, we're gonna transfer this into a piping bag. And now you're gonna add your oil to your pot. I already have 1 1/2 cup in there. I'm just adding another cup so it's completely, I can submerge all of the churros in there. And I'm gonna put this on high heat and let that come to a boil. Right now I'm gonna take my churro mixture and I'm gonna put it in a piping bag. And I will see you back once it's all in there. So once your oil has become to a boil, you're going to want to squeeze little droplets and of churro, however big you want, about 1 inch I would suggest. Plop it in. And you're gonna have a tray with paper towel ready to go to pick up your churros once you're done, to pick up some of the extra oil. You don't wanna pat them because you do want a little bit of the oil to pick up the cinnamon sugar once you're done. Watch your oil, you do not wanna get this on your skin. It is super duper hot. The best way to take them out would be with a metal tongs. You can do as many or as little as you want at a time. Just kind of watch them. Just keep adding them. Do as many or as little as you want at a time. Like they're homemade churros, they don't have to look perfect. They don't have to, ow, oh shoot. Oops. They don't have to be perfect. They're just homemade churros for some fun family nights. And I think that's as many as I'm gonna add for now. I'm just gonna watch them, take them out with my tongs, and I will be back. Okay, so I have my second round of churros coming out of the oil in a minute. You kind of want them a little golden brown. They might have little bubbles on them. It's fine, it's how it normally acts. But I'm gonna show you how to make your sugar and cinnamon recipe. So you're gonna wanna start off with a half a cup of sugar. I'm gonna add a little bit more sugar. Personally, I like mine super sugary coated. And about 2/4 of a cinnamon. 1, 2, 2. And you're gonna combine that all together. Once it's completely together, because you still want your churros a little warm, just toss them in there, coat them up a little bit, you know, and there you go. Got your little churros. So I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna take these ones out and I'm gonna add a new patch in, but it's pretty much how you make a churro. Hey, also I'm about like 3/4 done with most of my churros. They're coming out really good, really crispy. Some things I'm realizing as I'm making though that you should know while you're making them. If you have little bubbles, do not pop them in the oil. Pop them once they're out and make sure that you dump out any oil that could possibly be trapped in there, because you do not want to take a bite of your churro and have hot oil in your mouth. As well as the longer you are making your churros, the faster the oil is gonna become. Obviously, that's a pretty obvious one. But just make sure you watch your churros even more often as possible the longer you go into it, just in case you're over baking them. I already burnt 1 or 2, so I just don't want you guys to do the same mistake I did. But I'm almost done. I will be right back once they're all done. Okay, after about like an hour of making all these, I'm finally done with my churros. They're amazing. They're super crispy, super cute, super tiny. But I made a lot, obviously. There's so many here. I only did minis because obviously I don't have a big enough pot to make the big long ones like Disneyland, but it's pretty close to it. So hope you enjoy, hope you make them, and let me know if you do. Bye guys, love you, miss you all so much.